friendship fallouts, lawsuits, the list goes on. It hasn't been an easy year. And this fight for me, I can conquer those things. That I can overcome adversity. No matter how hard situations are, I wanted to give up. And tonight, I'm gonna celebrate this win, but I'm also excited to announce that I'm launching a clothing line called RNBO.
Classic. Classic. As if.
Rise and be original. That's my saying, guys. You gotta rise every single day. Fight like a champion, be original. Go to shoprnbo.com right now. There's only 500 shirts, so go fast.
You've obviously had a lot of help from a lot of people to get to where you are right now. Is there anyone you want to thank that springs to mind?
I want to thank a lot of people. I had an amazing boxing team, first of all. I want to thank my coach, Milton. He put so much time, effort, and energy into this. He's amazing. I'm so excited that we won tonight. I want to thank my sparring partners, Nico Valdez, AJ Garzum, Nick, RJ, Alex, anyone that has helped me spar. Thank you guys so much. I want to thank my family for being an amazing support system. My mom and dad, people can say whatever they want about you guys, but you guys are amazing parents. I want to thank my beautiful girlfriend. I love her. She sacrificed so much for this. It's a lot of time that went into this. My boy Adon, we've been training for 3 years now. Anthony, Chad, Bear, Quan, Jada Barber. I love you guys. Justin Roberts, shout out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your champion, Jake Paul.
Well, we're hearing ringside here that you got to give Deji credit from Michael Buffer. But wow.
1 second. I'm here with a man who fought his absolute heart out tonight, Deji, who's got the respect of everyone in this arena.
I just want to say, I know I let a lot of people down, but I'm telling you right now, this isn't the end of me. I'm going to come back from this. There's no way in hell this is the end of me, and there never will be. I know I let a lot of you down, and I'm sorry. But I promise I'll make it up to all of you. All of you, I'm so sorry. But Jake Paul, he surprised me. He hit hard, honestly, but I stayed in there. He said he was going to knock me out in the first round, and that never happened. I lasted till round 5, and I want you all to remember that. I know a lot of you are saying, I know you're probably tweeting me now saying, you did bad, you suck, all of that. I understand. You can't say that. In my opinion, I didn't fight as well as I should have. But I'm telling you right now, this is not the end of me. Thank you all. I want a rematch. I don't care. I'll fight anyone. I need to prove myself that this isn't the end of me. So thank you.
Deji, you have nothing to prove after that. You fought like a champion, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, Deji!
Deji there, fighting like a champion, but not quite coming out on top.
I know. I'll tell you what, right? I know I've just accepted Anderson Gibbs' request.
Just before we go, Jake Paul says he's got something to say. You said you wanted to call someone out.
Oh, please don't be me.
I want to call someone out. I want to keep on fighting. I love the sport. Chris Brown.
Wait, what?
Whoa.
Chris Brown.
Who?
I know you were supposed to fight Soulja Boy, but I think it's time to get in the ring with someone your size. So Chris Brown, I want to see you. And the Ace family, I love you guys, but I want to play y'all 5-on-5 in a basketball game. Austin McBroom.
Wow. Well, he really used his platform well there.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff.
I know I've accepted Anderson Gibbs' request, but if Deji wants to fight again,
wow.
I mean, I'd also be open to that.
A call out live on the stream from Joe Allen.
I mean, I wouldn't be against it.
Doesn't get any better.
I like what I saw in him. You know?
Well, let's move on to the next fight though, because it's now the main event.
Yes.
KSI in the UK versus an American hero, Logan Paul. It's incredible stuff this evening. We've already seen an American down an Englishman. Will we see it again?
I mean, that's the thing. Is it going to impact the boys, KSI or Logan? We don't know. But one thing we do know is this place is going to be a very hostile environment when Logan Paul enters the ring.
I don't know if you guys can actually hear it on the stream. The atmosphere in here, it's been building up throughout the night as we've seen more and more punches exchanged in the ring. But that fight really made a huge difference. Made a huge difference to the atmosphere within the arena, because people suddenly realised what was on the line. Reputation was suddenly on the line.
I think that's the thing more than anything. You get in that ring, between the dressing room and that ring, it all becomes so much more real. What's at stake? What's on the line? Yeah. You know, you feel the audience. It's no longer over the internet. No longer over screens. This is real. It is happening. I see my family in the crowd. I see my friends.
Months and months of work.
And that's what it all comes down to.
Gone into this moment, It's really incredible stuff. And these two are proper athletes, aren't they? They're not just sort of YouTubers who are playing anymore. Yeah.
Trying to get True Geordie to sit down here, but he's talking to Michael Buffer of all people.
I mean, if Michael Buffer talks to you, you don't go, in a minute, Michael. You go, absolutely, Michael, let's chat. Your voice is velvet. You know what I mean? Incredible work there. True, Geordie.
And he's back.
You get back to the headset. Tell us a little bit about what it's like to step up into the ring there, and what the view's like, what you can take in.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know when these boys were going to... but Jake wanted to talk to everyone, didn't. But I got to do my little catchphrase. You said you wanted to call someone out. To be honest with you, I'm a bit worried because the belt that we had for the next fight has gone missing, and I don't know.
Missing?
I don't know where it is.
Down there.
No,
it's under the table.
I don't know where it's gone. Like seriously.
Really?
So I'm
lost
panicking.
The championship belt.
We've got another one because Logan was so sure that he was going to win. He had one personally made for himself, so maybe we'll end up using Logan's.
Maybe it's that one. We're going to see the reaction from the side of the ring now with Julia, and then we'll be back to us in just a few moments.
Right, we are back ringside after our first of the really big matches. Wow, the energy in the room was spectacular. I think coming into that, I think they were both kind of surprised as to what was happening. Right off the bat, you know, I thought Deji was going to go for it, but then Jake seemed to sort of get really thrown by getting hit and have really sad eyes, really sad eyes for most of it, but then pulled it back.
Yeah, do you know what happened? I think that we was talking about this earlier on in the show. Jake Paul's come over here, he's come to the Lion's Den, 18,000 people,
booing.
And he's come out after the first round. He was totally gone, he had nothing left, the adrenaline took over, and no matter how hard you train, he had nothing left. Deji took the fight to him, fair play to him, then Jake Paul got his second wind. He started taking over, got back into his boxing, worked behind the jab, and systematically and slowly broke Deji down. And Deji showed some heart there. Last 2 rounds.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
You called it, you hit it right on the head, champ. He, Jake established his jab. He stayed with it. He was poking him downstairs with the jab, and he tried to overhand right a couple times. You can see that he was technically more sound, but Deji showed so much heart. It was unreal.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. It's funny because, I mean, with boxing, like you think it's all going to kind of go one way, and I thought, like, I wasn't too sure how it was going to sort of play out, but then he just brought it right back. It's quite amazing. How do you switch that around?
Well, do you know what it is? That's the beauty about the sport that we're in. You never quite know exactly what's going to go on. You go through all those layers. 1 minute you think, like after round 1, I thought, wow, Jake's done.
All it takes is one punch.
He's got nothing
turn it
left.
around. One body shot, one head shot, change everything.
And he turned it around, and then he slowly got into a rhythm. Deji showed a lot of heart, courage, soul, determination. We've seen that right through the card tonight. Doesn't matter at whatever level. I mean, these guys give it everything. They put everything on the line, and that's all you can ask. I mean, that was a great performance. I'd love to see that again.
Yeah, I was very impressed. But what really impressed me was the fact that, Jake Paul called out Chris Brown.
I mean,
he called out Chris Brown.
He also took the opportunity to promote his clothing line as well, which was super classy, obviously. But there you go. But that'd be an interesting fight, though, him and Chris Brown.
I would love to see that fight. Chris Brown, if you're out there looking at this, champ, let's go, champ.
Well, you know what the mad thing is? I think the way this show's gone, it could possibly happen, because I think this is going to go from strength to strength. They put on a tremendous show here this evening.
I believe so.
Do you remember there was a very old MTV show called Celebrity Deathmatch, which was a stop-motion animation thing, right?
I do.
How we all laughed. We're like, what a ridiculous concept. But now we're here.
Now,
It's
here
quite
we
funny.
are.
Here we are.
Right.
What two celebrities would you like to see fight?
Personally, I'm being from America. I like to see Donald Trump versus Joe Biden.
Oh my God, Donald
I like to see
Trump.
that. Let's go, champ.
Stu, can we get Donald Trump for the next one? Can we get Donald Trump in the ring, you reckon? Yeah. Hey, Stu's going to get Donald Trump. He'll have a word. That'd be really funny. I mean, Jake, like right at the start, he was like, he's a very confident man. Like this chap right here, very confident man. You know, he said he was going to do it in the first round.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was that likely because I mean, you're walking into God. You don't even know what you're walking into. How can you predict it?
Well, do you know what it is? I think these kids train so hard. They've been training hard for like 3 or 4 months. There's a lot on the line for these guys. Social media, you know, and everything surrounding it. So they don't want to lose. So they'll give it everything. I think we saw that there in that contest. I think we saw everything. Both guys put everything on the line, and it was great because. Going into the fight, Deji was a big underdog.
Yeah.
Jake come in there really confident, too confident, and I think that's why he gassed out to start off with. And then he realised, hold on a minute, I'm in a fight here, and then he pulled it back. Yeah, brilliant stuff, great entertainment.
Shannon, what would you say was like one of the toughest fights you ever had where you had to really pull through?
I'd have to say George Foreman was one of them.
Yeah.
Francois Botha,
Yeah.
Vitaly Klitschko,
Oh,
Ray
yeah.
Mercer. The list goes on.
Why did you start? Why did
The
you
list
start?
goes on.
Wow.
But you know, it's interesting though to like, you know, like I'm really interested in this kind of mental side behind boxing because I think, you know, some people do see it as, you know, oh, it's, you know, it's a bit basic. Just put two guys in a ring and they fight. But
It's an art.
so much more. Yeah,
It's
so
an
much
art.
more to
It's
it.
an art form. That's all it is.
Shannon, I was talking about this earlier on in the show, and I was saying, Julia, it's like 80% mental,
not
20%
fake, it's
physical. We all train, we all get to a fitness, but we also all reach round 8, 9, whatever it may be, 4, 5, and you realise, hold on a minute, I've got nothing left. That's when you bite on the gum shield, and it's not about your boxing ability then, it's about your grit, your heart, your determination, what I've been talking about here.
Yeah.
And these guys have showed it early on, man, and you know, that's the makeup of a good fighter.
Definitely. I'm very impressed, you know, being a professional boxer for 32 years, seeing these kids in front of a huge audience, millions, if not billions of people at home going to see this, and they're coming out in front of a crowd and they're performing. That takes a lot. A lot of people get anxiety. They can't do it under pressure, under the lights. These guys are performing.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing like, you know, sparring in a gym when you're comfortable. It's something else when you're up here.
Exactly.
I mean, does it just come down a lot to kind of like muscle memory as well? Like, you know, you're kind of repeating the same actions.
I think Shannon hit it right there. He said, like, listen, we know you see a guy sparring 12 threes in the gym. He might do that. When it comes to fighting 3 threes, that's a different story. Because you've got to deal with all the pressure, all the things that Shannon just said. The pressure, you know, the atmosphere, the anxiety. It's all there. That takes a lot out of you.
The night before,
Yeah.
the day before, the flight here.
Yeah.
There's so much going on that to overcome it is when you walk up these stairs right here, everything changes.
I mean, do you sleep the night before a fight?
I didn't sleep too well, I've got to be honest.
Is that not a thing?
I tell you what goes on in life. I mean, I don't know if this was the way for you, Shannon, but for me, I used to lie there and think about how the fight could be done, how it could be won. Like, you know, all the bad points that could go on in a fight. Could I pick myself off the floor? Could I do? There's this mad thing that's going on in your head.
And you can't,
so you haven't got a lot of time to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, do you think most of these guys would have been having quite late? I mean, what do you think? Do you think KSI got any rest? Do you think?
Well, listen, I heard KSI in the hotel this morning, and he was relaxed. He was shouting at breakfast. He looked cool. He looked chilled. I was never like that as a fighter. So perhaps this kid just deals with the pressure more than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I was quite impressed when I seen Logan earlier. Yeah. He was relaxed. He was having fun. But you know what? Like I said earlier, all that changes when you go up those stairs.
Yeah, sure.
So, okay, before we go into our final fight, I'm a bit
The war.
excited. Do you have any predictions? Say now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, this is a tough one because I've watched both of these guys. I've actually watched them develop over the last 2 or 3 months. I've seen them improve. Now that we went to the last open workout on Wednesday. Yeah. It's a flip of a coin, man. You got JJ. He's slippery. Likes
could you get off the fence, please?
No, I'm going to get off the fence. I'm going to get off the fence. He slips, moves, likes to keep it at range. Logan looks good. He looks strong. He's been in that MMA ring. He's been a wrestler.
Yes.
And for that reason, I think you could just lean towards him. Right. He could be the bookie's favourite.
I'm on the fence, but I got to tell you, I'm leaning a little bit towards Logan.
Ooh,
but I learned tonight, I learned tonight is don't sleep on anybody. All these guys are tough. They're performing for their fans, so you can't sleep. I'm leaning towards Logan, but you never know.
What do you want to see in this fight then? Do you want it to go?
I think I want to see. Now I want to see what we've seen through the whole night.
Yeah.
These guys going out there, giving it everything, giving putting on a show.
Yeah. I'm expecting a great fight.
Well, I think we are all hoping for that. So, guys, thank you so much for chatting to us. We
Thank
are going
you.
to throw it over to the commentators for one last time for our final fight, which is KSI versus Logan Paul. It's finally happening.
That's right.
Well, now we're at the main event.
They told us to hype the fight up. Have they not been watching the True Jody YouTube channel for the past month? I mean,
who hasn't?
Jesus,
is the big question, really, right?
I've been doing bits for this.
And when he says bits, he means literal hours of video, editing, all that sort of thing. Fantastic stuff. Head over to the True Jody channel and take a look at that.
But,
Joe was sitting in between us there. Joe, what were you thinking at this point?
So, boys and girls, I'll tell you one thing.
Time for a story.
So at this point, you are fully in your zone. You are trying to picture yourself as anyone that stands in front of you right now, I am destroying them. All right? And it just so happens to be this opponent. I don't care who he is, I'm just going to destroy him, right? In amongst that, obviously the news that
how would the brother defeat
that's
thing
that's
play
what I'll
into
say.
their minds?
The news of that, the previous fight is obviously going to filter through. Will that impact them? Deji, is JJ going to get affected by that? Honestly, I think JJ mentally prepared for Deji to maybe already lose. I think he's accepted that.
He said that on the podcast.
Yeah, he said that way in advance. I think it's not going to be a shock, as bad as that sounds. So I don't think it's going to affect him. In terms of Logan, it's going to do nothing. I mean, surely, but hype him up. Feel like this is our night. It's meant to be. And here we have him.
There's the nightmare. KSI. He's wearing the Union Jack.
Breathing strong. Looking good as well.
Yeah.
Great shape.
Nah, he doesn't look phased one bit though, does he? It's JJ, mate.
There's one man who's been around all night.
Never
one man in the
stressed.
background of all the successful fighters.
Vidal is looking at a clean sweep if he wins this one.
Yeah. And, I mean, frankly, Vidal's training alone will take you up 4, 5, 6, maybe even 10 levels.
Yeah, that does. I said to Joe, if KSI had had a different trainer and Joe had had Vidal, that is the kind of difference that maybe Joe could have came away with a win last time. That is the difference that Vidal makes to you.
Well, it's interesting.
I do think that, like, obviously, you see the way that every single fighter that is coached by Vidal, the way they've performed, the way they've been regimented, you know, they look like a different breed to their opponent.
Do you know what he said
you know
to
what I
you?
mean? What's that?
As he walked away after a Nissan Gib?
What did he say?
He said, "See you later, Joe."
Oh, and I was going to ask him to be my coach. Would he do that? Trade me instead?
I think that's what they call a conflict of interest.
This is why I'm leaning to going against Deji instead, because Deji's not coached by Vidal.
Now, the flip side of that is obviously that we've
He's picking
seen
fights with everyone tonight, Joe.
So this is it, True Jordy, me and you in the ring.
No, honestly, though, we've seen one guy now who's also been coached by Jake Paul. Sorry, Jake Paul's been coached.
Wilson Supreme. Wilton Supreme. Sorry, I think they're called. And he coached Golden Gloves champions. He coached Shannon Briggs. This is what he does. Like Logan said to me in the podcast, he's known for making a fighter in 3 months.
Exactly.
That is his thing. Which obviously sort of laughed at the time. Well, it's a good job. You've got 3 months then, isn't it? And I said, you know, the main thing that JJ is basing his being better than Logan on is that he cannot catch me up in boxing skill. And I said to Logan, do you think you've got the time for that? Logan said, I've had more than enough time to literally bury him. To be honest, I think this is just going to be a real close fight.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm leaning towards JJ in terms of boxing skill, but I can't say that for definite because I've seen 10 seconds of Logan. If I'd even had a minute of Logan, I'd have a more educated guess.
Do you think we can take anything from what we saw Jake doing out in the ring? Or no? In the same way we can't take anything from
I thought Jake
what
looked pretty good at times. I just think that not as good as I maybe anticipated.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
As an athlete, more than that. I thought Jake's boxing technique looked decent.
Yeah.
But I thought he'd have more of a physical advantage over Deji from the way, and I thought maybe the gas tank will be there. Maybe he'll have more power. But actually, he wasn't as fit as I'd anticipated him being. Really.
People around the world watching right now welcome you from everywhere. The streams are going out globally. I think there's not a country that this stream isn't touching right now, so welcome. It's good to have you. You've reached the main event. You made it here. You might be out of popcorn. You might be out of Doritos, nachos, something like that.
Pizza.
Grab whatever you've got around the house.
It's time.
It's time.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this.
These two guys head to head. By the way, Logan is coming towards the ring walk now, so he's
minimal difference. But one thing that is different, I would say, is that 4-inch reach advantage for Logan.
Absolutely incredible.
But the thing is, when they haven't been boxing long enough to make that kind of advantage pay, I don't know how much of a difference it'll make.
I mean, this is the thing though, I feel like in mine and JJ's fight, him having that big reach over me really helped him out, because his whole game plan was about keeping me away with that jab. And now that Logan's arms, they're longer than JJ.
And to be honest,
is he going to be able to
when I
implement
met
that?
Logan, the one thing I did think was like, Jesus, his arms are big. For a guy who isn't that heavy, he's a well-built kid. Like, he's
incredible.
When you look at MMA fighters, people who are huge for that weight class, like a Chris Weidman or as a middleweight, literally Logan Paul is built like that. Like, he's huge for that weight category.
However, like we've seen throughout all the other fights, appearance
can be deceiving.
It just can. It just can.
A beautiful
like,
person can go down in the ring.
There we go. I mean, like, the thing is, the skill, that's the thing that well, it's the biggest thing for me. That experience that JJ has, not just in boxing, but in being coached by Vidal Riley.
Yeah.
And not only that, whenever JJ told me, he's like, I performed to crowds who booed me, who hated me, I didn't get affected. Last time, he was being booed. This time, he's going to be cheered. So there isn't even that for JJ to worry about. I just feel like Logan's going to have to do a hell of a lot to take that confidence away from JJ. And it might mean that in the first round, he's got to go and hit him hard to get that respect.
Do you think we're going to see another side of KSI tonight? Because with all due respect to Joe, he didn't have to dig as deep as maybe we would have wanted him to in order to get through that.
Honestly, I do think so. I mean, obviously, let's face it, I didn't really test JJ to the maximum. Logan,
you hit him a few times, though. Can I ask, when you hit him, what was the reaction you seen?
His eyes did this. The little taps I got on him, they weren't anything special. But when I did get him, I did see a little bit of panic. But, you know, nothing that we can really grasp much from him, in my opinion.
We're 20 seconds away from
Logan.
The first of the ring walks being announced here. This is absolutely huge. Welcome to the biggest event in YouTube history.
Mate.
Yeah.
Let's have it, boys.
This is crazy.
Unreal.
True Geordie, Joe Weller, Lawrence McKenna, you're about to see a huge fight between KSI and Logan Paul.
Here we go.
When people are tweeting at you, you can't do shit about it. You have to accept the fact that people hate you. When 20,000 people are booing me, I can do something about it.
Stick it on them, pull it up and get wicked on them. Everybody acting like they're on it, they don't really want it, I'm steal it from them. Stick it on them, pull it up and get wicked on them. Everybody acting like they're on it, but they don't really want it, we got that lethal, got that diesel, we got that, watch us review, got that, got that sequel, they say yes, watch this, we don't believe, we got that evil, weapon, careful how you speak, we'll be coming down in seconds, lethal, weapon, coming down in seconds, they don't really want it with the new speed,
Round 2 is a bit of a show, and then round 3 is the knockout. That's what.
Manchester, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Now coming to the ring from the United States, it's Logan, the Maverick Paul!
look, isn't it? This is suddenly very different inside the arena.
No worries.
Logan with his name emblazoned across the back. We hear it's going to be a couple of minutes until KSI enters the ring. So Logan's got quite the weight in there. What do you make of him?
Just had Logan's dad come up to me and thank me for the interview, which was nice of him.
It's,
wow. Interesting. One of the socks is longer than the other for Logan. Is that to do with an injury or something?
rough. What is it? Yeah.
I did hear he had a knee injury a while back.
He is built like a brick, though, isn't he?
Oh, he's a
like,
big boy, that's for damn sure.
As one of his trainers fixes his hair,
His physical structure, his skeletal structure is just bigger than JJ. He's just, his wrists, his arms, everything about him is just bigger.
And he's worked around that, hasn't he? He's made that even bigger than it was.
I mean, but can he make it work in
He
a
looks like
boxing
an
ring?
athlete, lads. He looks like a born athlete.
Absolutely.
You don't see lads like Logan Paul kicking around, do you know what I mean?
We hear that JJ is close to his ring walk now. Always one to make a late entrance.
Making his opponent wait.